One thing that when I was younger in the business and I was a regional vice president, a regional leader, division leader, regional leader, and then early on as a regional vice president, I kind of gotten a little soft. One thing I was known for was my intensity, right? And people could tell that when I dressed like a top guy, I talked only about things that top guys would talk about, men and women, right? Top people. And I produced like that. I expected like that. I walked around like that. I prepared like that. You know what I mean? So you gotta, if you want to be one of the top people, you have to actually act like that before it happens. And one of the things, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, when you come into this environment, I don't want to hear about the gym, and I don't want to hear about sports, and I don't want to hear about the weekend, and I don't want to hear about outside topics. Keep it to what we are doing here, right? So I hear these conversations. This is not, we had, one of our mentors used to say, when people started talking about outside things, they would say, are you financially independent yet, right? And then you would say no, and they'd be like, yeah, then you need to talk about something else. Talk about moving forward in, the business. That's what we are all here for. Just like when you go to church, you're not talking about what you did. It's Sunday morning, right? Are you talking about what you did on Saturday night? Oh man, you should have heard what I did. I'm not talking about the party. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just in general, keep the topics appropriate for what we are about to do and going to do. You have to be intense. And that's another thing that I'm going over today, which is the people that are going to win here are going to be ones that are very, very, very disciplined with their prospecting schedules. The amount of prospecting that they do and their prospecting schedules, okay? Prospecting is finding people and finding clients. Whether you know them, you don't know them. That's what it is. And if you are not willing to do that, you are going to be relegated to working for a company. You can still be in sales, but you are going to be working for somebody else. You are going to be given your goals. And if you don't hit those goals, you are going to be fired. That is how sales jobs works. That's how an employee works. Someone else will determine your schedule. Someone else will determine your life. Someone else will set your goals for you. So in this game of winning in business and in life, either you are the one finding the clients or someone else is going to find the clients and you are going to be under them working for them. Does that make sense? I used to do this a long time ago where I would say everything starts with a prospect, right? Whether we are building a client base or whether we are building our team, which is recruiting. Everything starts with a prospect. Once we get a prospect, so someone, I'm trying to think of an example, right? Like whenever I closed that last sale, someone gave me a number. What do I do with a number? I call it. Right? Now, if I'm building my client base, what is that call trying to lead to, Dylan? If someone says this person wants a financial plan, this person wants insurance, I'm calling, and what is it going to lead to? What is that meeting called?
Appointment.
Yep, kitchen table appointment. Kitchen table appointment, which is what I did. I drove to Frederick, Maryland, which is very far from me, right? And I sat at their kitchen table and I closed that sale and I helped that family. Now, if I'm building my team, I get the prospect, I make the call, what is that leading to? Right, recruiting appointment, op meeting, some form of interview. Right, some form of interview. The opportunity meeting is a group interview. A recruiting meeting, recruiting appointment, people have too many acronyms now. At the end of the day, we're just introducing the opportunity. Here is the thing that people don't understand. Do you want to be a millionaire? Do you want to be a leader? Do you want to make big money? Do you want to be different than everybody else? Do you want to be the person at the top? This is the thing, okay? Everything below this line is $20 an hour work. You get that? I have 19-year-olds that can make calls and do appointments on both sides. That isn't what makes you special. How well you can make a call and you can do an appointment. You can go get that job. What makes you different, okay, if you want to be different, is your ability to prospect and get in front of people. That's the value that you bring to the table. That's how you can become who you want to be, and that's the quality that you are looking for. Who can get in front of the most people? Think about both sides of these, right? Who needs to improve their financial situation? Who needs a financial plan? We have no minimum requirements. Who needs more life insurance or some insurance? Who needs to know if they're on track for retirement? Get a better rate of return on their investment? Needs to get out of debt? Needs college planning for their kids? Needs some accountability? Needs a budget? Needs some direction? Of the population, how many people? Everybody. You just said everyone, and now it's time to make a list, and you got 2 people on the list. I'm telling you what's going on in my head. I don't talk to people like this. I'm telling you what's going on in my head. So what we want is people that can put us in front of people by any means necessary. How is it? How is it that, last year you did 100-something recruits and he's living in a new state? And I know half the time he was over there, half the time, because winners figure out a way to make it happen. Employees, they're waiting. They say, hey, do you guys have leads? We actually tried leads, right? It sucks.
Yeah.
It's so cold. Everyone cancels. You have to chase them around. It takes hours of your day for something that, right? It's this waiting mentality of like, give me the work. Give me the people to call. Give me the people to sit down with. That is an employee mentality, right? If you want that, you can go work. You won't be the owner of the State Farm because they have to do the same thing that I do, right? But you can go work in a State Farm under someone where their clients walk in and you can service them and you can make $20 an hour. But that's why you are going to make $20 and they make $400. Because the game is what? Who's the one that's finding the clients? You want to take pride in being the one finding the clients and finding the people. That's the skill that I bring to the table. Anyone can get good at making calls. Right now, what do? They hire them in the Philippines, called virtual assistant. They'll hire someone in a different country. That's how easy it is to make calls. But can you give them the numbers? Who's the one that's creating the numbers? People say, oh, I have to find my own clients? Employee. Right? That's why we'll always have people that are willing to sit behind a desk 9 to 5. Because some people are creators and other people are just work processors. Here's your file, get this done by Friday, here's your salary. That is the mentality of an employee. They're given the work and they process the work. Here, we have to create the work. That's what we get paid for. Once you get in front of the person, this thing is easy. We just said everybody needs it. And I can do the same thing with building a team. Who needs to make more money? Who should try to be an entrepreneur? Everybody. Who's unhappy with their career? Who's unhappy with their boss? Who's unhappy with their job, right? Most people. So on both sides, we're looking for everyone. The question is, why are we not getting in front of more people? And some of us are. You see their incomes and you see their production and they always have guests. As you go into the new year, this is what you need to fix. Not, how can I get better at making calls and doing appointments without prospecting? Trust me, you become a good prospector, it'll put you in a position where it will accelerate all of these things here. You've got to become a good prospector, okay? Let's talk a little bit about prospecting mentality. Prospecting is everything, right? If you're not doing enough, you are not going to be successful. Like I said, it has to embody you. It has to be part of your identity. Prospecting, whether it's for recruiting, whether it's for clients, whatever it is. rejection. Why do people avoid prospecting? People hate prospecting so much that they will literally work for someone else for their entire life and never really reach their financial goals. Doesn't mean they're going to be unhappy. They will never really reach their financial goals, all because they personalize rejection. That no hurts them so much that they're going to run back to a job. Can you imagine that? It hurts so much because it's all about how you feel about no. You know, what do celebrities, entertainers, do you know how much? Because I listen to some sports podcasts, that's like my junk food, right? I like to listen to some sports podcasts. Obviously, ESPN and all that stuff. How much criticism these players get? One play, one shot, one air ball, one fumble, right? One kick or miss, and the amount of scrutiny that they get. And sometimes they can't take it anymore. What's their response? It's like, hey, I live my life. You writing on Twitter, right? You look at the life you live, look at the life. LeBron has said that. He got a lot of heat for it. And it's true. It's like, you're talking to me? That is the mentality that I had when I was prospecting, even when I was making only 20 grand a year. Right? You can look down on me because I walked up to you. You can look down on me because I'm trying to prospect. You can think that I'm weird, but at the end of the day, you will be at that job forever, and I'm trying to do something bigger and better, and I'm not going to let you look down on me. There's no way in hell you are going to make me feel bad. Because you do what you're told every single day. Someone else controls everything in your life. You have no control. I'm trying to do something better, and you're going to look at me like I'm weird? And I thought like that when I was making 20 grand and 50 grand, and definitely now. How do you interpret that rejection, right? How do you feel about it? I remember these things. I was, 6 months into the business, and one day I had 5 interviews. And our interviews were long. Hour and 15 minutes of presenting, no iPad, no video, right? We would have to sit there and go through every product and the history of the company and the compensation. And I did 5 hours of that. Everyone said no. And I said, and our office was in Sterling, and I went back to Dulles Town Center, and I went and started prospecting again. Because and I thought to myself, I said, no one would be able to do this. That's why I'm going to be at the top. That's the mindset that you got to have, man. Right? Do you, like, sometimes I let it out, not all the time, but this is how I think, man. That intensity of just going out there and working. What does Mike Sharp say? Every free moment is a working moment. You got to take pride in that. Who cares what people say? You're always working. You're always on the phone. You're always this. Well, what are you doing? I don't want your life. This is how you got to think of it. Everything is neutral. It's the meaning we place on it. Okay, someone said no, right? Oh my God, what are they thinking about me? They're going to think I'm weird. They're going to now tell this person. Now everyone's going to think. They're going to think I'm trying to approach them. They're going to think I'm sales. I'm not like that with my friends. I don't want to act like I'm right? Dude, who cares? They could have just been approached by someone from a random stupid company, and now they don't want to talk to you, Sheila. It has nothing to do with you, right? They just maybe been through something with someone else, and now they're putting it on you, but you're personalizing it a whole different way. Everything is just neutral. If you place too much meaning on it, that's a you problem. You can fix that, though. You have to neutralize no's, right? It's just a neutral thing. That's why they write these books. What is it? Go for no. Like he does this reverse psychology where he's like, just go for no. Expect no. Hope they say no. Like, that's the weird things that our human brains have to do, the mental gymnastics that we have to play because of this freaking word no. How rich would we all be if everyone was, like, if you thought everyone was going to say yes, how many people would you talk to? Everyone. The person coming up to mount your TVs, you know, your mailman, everywhere you go, every person that you see, everyone in the elevator, right? Because everyone's going to say yes. But why don't we do it? Because we already think they're going to say no. But not everybody says no. That's why you come to training. That's why people that don't come to trainings fail. Because how can you maintain your belief without talks like this, without hearing a Nora, without hearing an Andre come up as a new district leader and say, someone just walked up to me. And it builds your belief. Right? Where did we meet you, Dylan? You just happened to live in the same building as Xander, and he just came and talked to you. What if you thought that everyone was going to say yes? How many people would you talk to? That's your potential. And the difference between your potential and what you're doing, you're letting fear ruin your goals and dreams. And it's okay. You can change that at any time. I was the most introverted, scared, fearful person out there, right? But I was, you know, this is early, like my first few months. I was top recruiter, and then somebody else beat me. And I had no more numbers to call, and I heard that people did this thing where they went out and talked to people, and I said, I just got to go out and do it, man. And I overcome my fear. I overcame my fears. And people, you know, my friends would see me in the mall, and they would see me at college prospecting, and they would laugh, right? Who's laughing now? Right? We have beliefs, right? Beliefs are beliefs. They're not always right. Like the most extreme example that I use is like, terrorists have a belief, right? Like, oh, if I kill all these people, I'm going to heaven. That's a crazy belief, but it is a belief, and it's wrong. And we question their belief, and they have to question their belief. But we also have beliefs, too, that are very wrong and need to be questioned. Being rich is bad. Being rich is greedy, right? You know, we work in a company where the people at the bottom are doing all the work, and the people at the top are making all the money, right? Like Shaq had a recruit. Someone walked up to him. He approached someone to set an appointment. He's like, "Oh, Primerica?" He was like, "Run." Oh yeah, yeah. You know, I'm not gonna curse. But like, what do you do? Run to what? Your house? You gonna hire me at your job? Run where? No, like really, let's analyze this. I wish someone said that to me, or in front of you. Run where? Run where? What do you got? What do you got from me?
I got these Herbalife, you know, this Amway.
Those people, like, they're at least open-minded, right? So I don't hate that hard. I do think they're kind of like funny opportunities. But like, right, like that guy you guys just got $300,000 a year. He's actually going to Amway meetings. Because people that are open-minded, and sometimes they hit on things and sometimes they don't. You know? But it's the people who talk and act like this with the level of rejection that they give, it's always closed-minded employees. You know? Like, do you read books every day? Do you listen to audios? Are you trying to get better? Are you trying to become a salesperson? Are you getting licenses? Are you willing to work weekends? You're not willing to do anything. You're criticizing me for trying something new because you have semi-tried something and failed? Or because you read something on the internet, or you were too scared to approach your friends and family? Now you want to tell me to run? And you have nowhere to even tell me where to run.